Hey you, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to show you the core concept of everything in your life that it's been showing you that you've been overlooking that'll create clarity and action in you, because the only thing that holds us back as creators, as entrepreneurs, as somebody who has an idea and keeps us from rolling it out is simply we're not clear on who we are and the identity that we're in, right? It's like right now I'm able to post endlessly because I know who I am, I know what I'm doing, and I've unified all my stuff together. And it's the most fun I've ever had. I don't have a strategy, I don't have a plan, but when I look at everything, I'm like, wow, that's working really well together. And it mixes everything I'm about to show you. And this is so simple. As long as you have liked somebody in your reality or looked up to somebody, or even been like, man, I really liked what that person does, that is everything you need here. So stay tuned, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a like at any point that I create a shift in you. And when I create a shift in you, drop it down below in the comments. I want the people who are watching this video to see the impact that we're creating here, all right? And I started off, I tried to do this in a different way. We'll do this video later because I got to figure out how to do it in 10 minutes or less. But today I'm going to give you the pieces to stack into another exercise that we'll do later, okay? So go ahead and think about all the public figures that you like. And you can get a piece of paper or pencil. I encourage you to write this down or put it in AI, because when you can put this in AI as we do it, or wait till you're done and input it all and it'll freaking blow your mind, okay? So first we're gonna do public figures. And think of all the public figures in the world that whenever you see a piece of their content, something new is released, whether it's music, whether it's sound, whether it's a book, whether it's an audiobook, any type of media or anything, what is that person, okay? So I would say mine, and I'll say mine out loud to help you, is like Elon Musk. I am like, number one, he has 3 T-squares in his natal chart, I do too. I understand Elon on so many levels, as like when that mental tension's there, it sucks. We do whatever we need to do to get it out and we clear it, and that's our movement forward, right? I'm also into, I know I get into the space industry and I love rockets and I love everything that is fast and chaotic, and yeah, it's just, I love adrenaline. I love searching. I'm curious as all hell, right? Why else would you go to Mars? You're curious, right? Like, can we sustain life there? Can we go to other planets? Like, there's so much like curiosity there, right? I'd say another one is Sam Kolder. And this is cool. And man, if Sam Kolder ever sees this video, bro, you inspired me so much. It's like everything that I'm doing now, I saw a Sam Kolder travel video and I was like, that is what I want to do. And the first time in my life, and I was in nursing and I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. And I was like, that is it. That is what I want to do. Holy shit. How do I do that? And then everything that happened after that is what I did. And it's so cool, right? And then I saw Sam stop creating content and I was like, dang, why did he stop? And then he dropped the dopest video. It was like, where's Sam Kolder been or something? And it was all about burnout. And I hit that same, and right when he dropped the video, I was burnt out following a path that Sam had lived. And I was like, dude, I relate to this. Then he talks about the nervous system, the depth of it, and how to be a self-sufficient or a self-sustainable creator. And I'm like, I want to meet this guy. Like, I'm on the same wavelength, right? So it's like, find people like that. I'd say another one that inspired me early was Dan Coe. I'd say 2 to 3 years ago, every day I'd wake up, I was stuck, I didn't know what I was doing, I was searching for information, I'd watch a Dan Coe video, and I would literally have to pause it. His videos are like 40 minutes. I would literally take notes and watch it, and I'm like, this guy's literally giving the world everything they need. It's whether they can process it, because Dan Coe operates like AI. I swear to God, his brain is AI. If I had to guess, he's a mental projector with the right cross of Eden, right angle cross of Eden. It's phenomenal. But also, like, Dan Coe has been a guiding light on my journey because he had a very similar arc. And when I found that, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a future version of me sharing what I need clarity on in this moment to get to the next level. And then magically there's been synchronicities beyond that AI identified. And I was like, I haven't watched this content in years. This is funny, right? And I can allude to that, and some people might guess it, right? But it's crazy. It's just like, but all these things, it's like, I'll even show you how this relates at the end of this. So then, let me think of any other public figures is, and you can even go to cartoons in a sense, like fictional characters. Because I'd say another fictional character that inspires me is Iron Man. And this is like, and this is it, is like Iron Man's a billionaire. He has it all. He loves to play with tech. He doesn't have to, but he just loves creating and building. And then he doesn't have to go out and be a superhero, but he chooses to because he loves adrenaline and it's a healthy outlet to help save the city. Even though he has it all, he's still putting his life on the line, doing what he loves most. And it doesn't matter what gets in the way of it. And he always finds a solution. And it's like, I see myself as that person too. It's wild, but it's like, I'm not trying to save the world. I don't have billions yet, but I'm like, it's my story in my head is like, when I have fortunes, I'm going to work until the day I die because I don't view work as work. It is fun. It is play. And when I don't create, I get depressed. And I don't like to feel depressed, so I'm endlessly creating and I aimlessly create. I couldn't tell you what I'm going to create next. And my whole adventure in entrepreneurship is like, I endlessly stumble into success. I'll just get curious. I'll start building something aimlessly. Halfway through the process, I'll be like, oh shit, I see what we created here. Cool. Let's refine it and roll it all the way out. And that is my process. And most people can't follow that process, and I know it's unique to me, right? So then finish that up, put in any others that pop into your mind, and then this is cool. So then think about businesses that inspire you. So for instance, businesses I love, and I'll tell you why, is SpaceX, Tesla, and Apple. And I put a fourth one on there, Google. All right, let me blow your mind on this. So if you look at the branding of SpaceX and Tesla, they're minimalistic, they're simple, and they're futuristic, which is really hard to blend. But the more master you are in this reality, and this is my belief, I'm not going to bestow it upon you, but I'm going to share it with you, is like the more of a master you are in this reality, the simpler you can take very complex things and share it with people. That is true mastery. And SpaceX and Tesla, they don't market. They don't have to, right? They're very unique. They stand out on their own. They put out what they create, and it's an endless wow factor. And even at the point that everybody was like, this shit's gonna fail, they kept going after blowing up 4 rockets. Now they're sending up endless rockets that haven't crashed. You got Blue Origin blowing up launch pads, and you got NASA playing cautious, and SpaceX is like, how about another one? How about another one? How about another one? We're gonna master this, right? But it's like, they're not afraid to mess up. Their early mistakes has created their success, and they endlessly believe in their mission no matter what the general public says or wishes upon them, okay? And then with Apple worked in here, they're very aesthetically pleasing. Like you walk into an Apple store, you feel like a fish in an aquarium, or at least that's my feel. It feels like a store from the future. It's all glass windows. Everything's white. It's very simple. It's very clean. It's very aesthetic. And they don't have to do anything extra to stand out. And when Apple drops an ad or a commercial, or they release a new product, I'm always like, that's badass. And they have such a non-mediocre way to show it. They showcase it in the coolest way possible, and it's unlike anything else out there, right? And then Google endlessly shares what they create from open source. And it's like Google Docs. The whole Google workspace is free. Anybody with an email can sign up for a free email and have access to this. And then it's like Google funds endless open source companies. If it's creating impact in the world, they fund it. They find if you reach out to Google about stuff and you have a good product that is helping the world and you need funding, Google funds it. Google has endless open source funding if you can find that channel through Google. One day I found it and I was like, this is so dope. I'm here in Austin, and it's like, to see a tech company endlessly share everything with the world and not, overcharge for it, that is true altruism and philanthropy. That is what success is built upon, right? And Google's like, here, play with it. Even their AI labs, they're like, here's some beta. Want to join? Let us know. Test it. Like it's such a build in public open source business model, right? So then if you look at my branding, it kind of meshes the aesthetics of Apple, the simplicity of SpaceX and Tesla. I don't run ads. I create everything organically. And then I try to share as much as I can for free with the world. And endlessly too, you pull in Elon. Elon should have over 50 patents. He has 0. Elon, I could also guess, doesn't give a shit about money. That's why he has the most in this reality, right? It's like everything in this reality is polarized and backwards. What you don't care about, you have an abundance of. What you care most of, you have none of. Think about that. And next we're gonna go into, let's go into your personal needs. This question is really fun. So if God was like, pause your life right now, I'm going to give you 3 hours and you can only do 3 things. And each of those things takes 1 hour each. What 3 things would you do to end your life? Or the alternate to this question is, you can only do 3 things for the rest of your life. What would they be? And you have to do them every day on repeat endlessly. And what you want to do here is get to the absolute minimum of this, okay? So for instance, for myself is movement. And movement's an absolute minimum because I'd be like, movement. What type of movement am I defining? How am I moving? And it's like the absolute minimum because movement to me can be travel. It can be going for a walk. It can be moving my body at the gym. It can be going fast at the gym, lifting heavy. It can be going light. It's just simple movement. And I know this from movement because I channel and hit my intuition with light movement and changing environments. That is how, if I get stuck editing a video, I get a bladder spasm, I have to go to the bathroom, I come back down, I sit down, and I have the answer. If I'm editing a video and that response doesn't happen, I go for a quick walk around the block, got the answer. You know, it's like whatever I do, movement creates clarity, and clarity essentially comes from movement. And it's a slight environment change and slight movement is how I access my intuition endlessly, right? So it's like, that's something I've learned through myself through a bunch of like deep work, but it's also like, I put it in AI and was like, here's where I channel. And it's like, actually, micro movement, or the more extreme, the environment shift is how you connect with your intuition. And I was like, no wonder I love to travel, which brings up, movement is a part of travel, right? So then it's like, boom, we just knocked out a whole thing there. And it's like, and you can ask yourself to know the minimum is like, with movement is like, how am I going to move in this moment? And it's like, I'm moving my leg, I'm shaking it. I always got something moving, right? And it's like, cool, movement, all right? Or it's like movement. I'm going to move from Austin to Seattle soon. I know it. Aya showed me it, right? But it's just like, but it's that basic word that can expand into anything, but it still has truth to you, okay? And I'd say another one is creating endlessly. And it doesn't matter if I'm creating a video, if I'm being creative with AI and building an app, if I'm creating software that I didn't even know I was going to create. Is it, creating happiness with those around me? Is it, and it's like, it can go infinite. So once again, creating is a minimum. So movement and creating are 2 of my 3 here, right? It's like, when I don't create, I get depressed. It is like my spiritual altar. And I don't even have to create anything that I roll out. I can just sit here and play in Premiere Pro with a song that I got an earworm on and some shots that I got, and then I'll be like, well, that's pretty cool, let's post it. Or it's like, I got some old photos and I test out Dehancer desktop app. By the way, if you use promo code byCHRIS, you get, I think, 10 or 20% off. But it's like, I went through all my old travel photos, used the analog film look, and was endlessly having fun editing photos from, 2 years ago that I've already edited, and I saw them in a whole new light, and I was like, this is dope. I love this product. Thank you for reaching out. Like, it's just stuff like that. So movement and creating. And then I'd say below that, channeling. I got to figure out how to put this one out. It's like, exploring. That's the word. Because I was like, man, I love channeling, right? It's like, I love feeling connected to whatever I'm connected to. It lights me up, it lightens me, it softens me, it gives me a rush of energy, and I'm like, this is so cool. I did not know that information. How did this land in my head? But what I'm really doing there is exploring, okay? So it's like, I'll explore myself, my psyche, my body, my mindset. Why am I thinking this way about this? Why does this pattern continually show up? I'm endlessly exploring the depth of my inner world. It is so much fun to me, and I'm never fixing anything. I'm always exploring, and I'm like, I don't like how that feels. That feels better. Cool. Next. And it's just like, I hate discomfort, as humans do. So I lean into discomforts to understand it and explore what the true discomfort is to create more comfort. Right? It's like, I explored cameras, and like, I bought a camera randomly on my 27th birthday and was like, I'm gonna explore if I'm still a creative, like can take photos, because I won state fair as a kid, but I didn't know you could do what I do now. And then in buying that camera, I was exploring my creativity, and I was like, oh my God, shooting photos is fun. People say I'm really good at it. Man, this video stuff has been on my mind forever. And then I started creating videos. I didn't know how to edit. I learned how to edit all this stuff, built an agency, and then, 10x that, and was like, that's pretty cool. So I say my big three is, because this can also be travel too, exploring new cities, exploring new cultures, exploring endlessly, exploring. And like, exploring gets me in trouble. Sometimes I'm somewhere that I'm supposed to be and I'm committed to something and I'm like, what's that over there? And it's like curiosity too, right? Curiosity could be the other one there. But it's like, I'll explore the depth of my psyche and then start channeling, and that brought in gifts, and I'll explore the magic in that, and it just endlessly opens up stuff. So here's the cool thing. So you can put these into AI and just simply be like, all right, so I look up to these public figures and these fictitious characters. Boom, list them, put them in AI. Then say, and I love these businesses. Boom, 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 boom. And say what you like about them too. That'll help AI. But then personal needs. These are the things that I need in my everyday life. And if you're somebody who gets overwhelmed, you can pick one of these three or centrifuge all three. It'll endlessly bring you back to homeostasis, right? So when I am scattered, I go to the gym, I lift heavy, light movement, heavy weight, I ground. On days I'm stuck, I do lighter weight, cardio, superset circuits, and I ramp up my energy until I feel right at that equilibrium. If I'm stuck and I'm like, I'm feeling kind of depressed, I'll aimlessly create. I'll sit down and I'll do something and I'll be like, whoop, got out of that funk. Here's the gift, boom. Or it's like, if I don't know what to do, I'm bored. Like say I'm in Austin and I'm like, God, I'm so exhausted. I don't know what to do, but I can't sit here all day. I'll jump in my car and just drive around the city and explore and be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Before I know it, 20, 30 minutes later, I'm like, damn, I'm pretty charged up. So these are typically charging activities in your life, whatever your personal needs are, or they ground you, they help you feel safe and secure. The businesses are all the ones you're interested in, is what you're gonna mix to build your own unique model. And then the public figures are future versions of yourself, and the fictitious are the future versions of yourself that you're learning identity and characteristics from in order to be the person that you need to be to operate this. And then, so what you do is put all this into AI, give it the details that you can, but also let it expand on its own and say, what is the commonality of all this? If I was to build a future vision or a company, how does all this relate to it? What is the overlap of all this in my life? And what is it telling me that I need to do? Or it's, simply like put it all in. These are who I look to in business, or as public figures and fictitious characters. These are all the businesses I like. These are my personal needs. And then ask AI, what insight do all these have for me that I'm trying to create? And the coolest thing too is like when you can put all these together and it's like find the overlaps of all. It's like Elon, Sam Kolder, Dan Coe, Iron Man, futurist, entrepreneurs, and impact driven. And it's like you can go through the list with those words and figure out what all three things, right? Because this will even help you get clear. And then the more you can input into AI and let it run, the more it will tell you and it'll blow your mind, right? So then, is Elon a futurist? Yes. Is Sam Kolder a futurist? Is Dan Coe a futurist? Is Iron Man a futurist? Mm-hmm. Are they all entrepreneurs? Yeah. And are they all impact driven? Do they endlessly create impact in the world by simply doing what they love? Yes. Okay, cool. So that one's done. Then this one over here, SpaceX, Tesla, Apple, and Google. They are impact driven as well, which is I'm impact driven as all get out, right? You're sensing this already. They are simple, and I'd say the simplicity comes through their design. It's not complex. You can look at it and be like, I understand it, And then I would say they are humanitarianism. I say Apple is a slight exclusion on that, but at the end of the day, Steve Jobs gave you the remote to the galaxy. All you got to do is push a button, a car shows up. And it's like, if you actually look at the ethos of the iPhone, this is the coolest thing. I love this about the iPhone is when you look at it with a black screen, so when this turns off, this is actually designed from Japanese Zen so that you reflect on yourself like the Buddhists do. So your phone doesn't turn on till you see your self-reflection, and then it turns on. That is like, and it's like, if you guys don't know the ethos and the design of the iPhone and what Jobs did with it, he spent so much time in Japan, endlessly loved the Zen culture, and everything that he loved about the Zen culture is built into this little device. It's pretty cool. And then personal needs. So movement, creating, exploring, those are all the minimums. So those can be transferred down, but then ask yourself, you know, how do you use these in all aspects of your life? And the list will be endless, okay? So then even when you have these, it's like, this is all your content strategy, right? So you can put all this into Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever you use for AI, and literally give it these parameters and be like, all right, I'm inspired by these people. I'm inspired by these businesses. My personal needs are this. How does this overlap with me? What am I trying to tell myself? What am I trying to create in the future? It's like, use this as your sample list and let AI blow your mind. It will endlessly blow your mind. And to the point after that, once what you're reading from this input really resonates, you'll feel it like right below that xiphoid process. That's your claircognizant center, where you're like, that's your yes. When you're like, oh my God, I feel a yes. That's where you feel it. That's your deepest sense of self, being right by your heart, which is actually your thymus and Western medicine, but it's your heart chakra and Eastern, right? And they operate the exact same. It's just which way you want to look at it. And then it's like, when you read it and it identifies you, you can start to ask it, you know, what is my marketing strategy? What is my branding strategy? What kind of content do I need to create? And it'll endlessly give you all this and keep it very simple. My camera's overheating too, so we're gonna have to cut this video here. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad we got to the end. Drop in the comments below what you figured. Oh, it's not overheating. Cool, so we're good now. But anyways, I guess we're gonna land this video harsh. But anyways, it's like, use all this as input so AI truly understands you. And when you're reading on the screen and you feel seen and heard, then ask AI all the questions you want. But the simplicity of this is all these companies, all these people, and all these things are already out there on the web, right? There it goes again. So it's like, endlessly use this. Follow Elon. If that's like whoever your avatar is, follow them. They have a strategy. They already created it. If it's posted, you can reverse engineer it and you can build it in your own ways. So go do it. All right. Peace out, y'all. Have a good day. And thank you for